Now, I didn't get to watch this pilot normally like everybody else did. You see, last night I was in a fun little position where I just out of nowhere ended up doing a bunch of stage managing and backstage stuff for a show that I didn't know I was going to be a part of until like, I think 4 minutes before we left. It was very fun and I enjoyed myself, but that does mean that instead of watching this in the comfort of my own home and immediately recording my thoughts afterwards, giving me time to edit and refine this video, and even check if the lighting looks good, because I've never tried complicated lighting before, and this might make me look like a pizza-faced ghost. I actually ended up watching the entire Gameoverse pilot in a public Dairy Queen with no headphones on, with a mob of theater kids also watching. Hey guys, my first thoughts on this pilot will be recorded inside of a Dairy Queen. Hi, do you want to be on YouTube?
Sure.
Hi, you guys are on the internet forever now. Yeah, it is. It's beautiful. We're disturbing the entire staff. I'm so sorry to them.
My food.
Your food hasn't come. It's been like 20 minutes.
Probably not my food.
So regretfully, I must remove the no fast food workers were mentally harmed during the making of this video and remove that sticker. And yes, before you guys call me a nerd for explaining why I couldn't watch the Gameoverse pilot because I was at theater practice, of course I am. Look behind me. If I zoom out all the way, you can see part of the Oswald the Lucky Rabbit Funko Pop that is holding up the camera right now because I lost my tripod and I don't know where it is. Underneath that one is Appa from Avatar The Last Airbender, a super Funko Pop. Behind it, it's depressing. I'm depressing. Also, I'm wearing this shirt because it felt, I don't know, that this felt the most Gameoverse-y. Anyways, let's talk about it. So before the show released, I maintained that the main thing I wanted was for it to keep its humor style. Because a lot of glitch shows, for sure, have their more emotional beats and their more emotional segments, and that's what stuff like the Digital Circus is for. But Gameoverse had a very fun and unique, I guess not unique anymore, but it was for the time, a unique humor style. And I was hoping that they would keep that and have it translate into the newer show. And I'm happy to say they definitely did. I feel like the main focus of this show was the funny jokes and the shenanigans. And the other thing. Like I said, I watched this in a group of theater kids, and if you've never been to theater, yes, the stereotype is true. Everybody is queer. So basically the entire table was thirsting over the two, well, are they the two leads? I don't know. The point, Glitch did a swimsuit episode first. They couldn't wait to do a beach episode till later. They knew what they were doing. But as for the actual plot of the show, I mean, it's straightforward. It's very straightforward and very simple, and I mean that in the best way. I think the best plots are simple, straightforward, and basic. I've said this before, I really think that the main flaws of shows are when they take their wonderful, simplistic plot with deep and interesting characters and dynamics, and then switch it to a deep and interesting plot with basic and boring character dynamics. But luckily, the Gameoverse completely negates any of these issues. I should have brushed my hair better before. I should have done a billion things before doing this. I'm gonna check the lighting. No, the lighting looks good. I just look awful. But let's get into specifics. The show opens with a little flashback to Kit's world being destroyed, right? So in the lore of the Gameoverse, as we all know by this point, if you beat your game, you win. And then the world gets destroyed. Which I think is a very interesting premise because it forces the heroes to be working with the villains of each game. Very fun, very interesting, and we get to see a little bit of Jay Schlatt's character, which I'll address later, Caboodle, helping the villain learn how to defeat the hero. And I really love that dynamic. And then throughout the episode, we see all the rest of the characters joining in with Kit to try and stop this dolphin sea world from being destroyed. And destroying SeaWorld, I wish. Get it? Because I'm an eco-terrorist now. And then, of course, there's the villains, who want the heroes to win every single game, which is, once again, a very interesting dynamic. I do think it's kind of lost a little bit because the villains have such standard villain character designs. I feel like if they were a little bit more hero character designed, and our heroes were a bit more villain character designed, you could play with their dynamics a bit more, but I suppose as it is, it works. A lot of the time, a villain is what makes a show, and I think misinformation and... is he just called Mr. Paper? And of course, by the end of the show, we see Flappers join the main crew, which I think is a fun idea. I want to see how many heroes end up joining the crew. Because I feel like if we do a Deltarune style recruitment thing, where every single hero joins the main crew, and they just, like, they're doing their own thing, and then right at the end when we need them all, they all come together. That'd be fun. But also, I don't know how many more members this crew can take, because even as it is, I feel like we've got kind of the perfect 3. But as it is, if Flappers was a permanent member of the team, I wouldn't be too upset. It'd be a little bit cluttered, but I'm sure they could find use for him. Now, let's address all the other characters. I think all the character designs are great, as does the internet. But, you know, I don't think that's a bad thing. People are gonna like what they're gonna like. Glitch might as well make some money off of it. But genuinely, I do like all of the characters' designs. A lot of these designs by themselves make them off as like, oh, that's a cringy OC. But because it's in a video game world, where each of them are meant to be video game characters, I think it works, because each world stays true to the design theming of that character. Like, Kit's world has a bunch of, like, cat and animal people. If Kit was the only cat person, then it would be a little bit like, why you be drawing cat people? Yeah, what do you need?
Okay, yeah, just be a second. Guess what? It's original 1969. Was made and printed in a 1-month time period.
This is the one without...
This is the one without Her Majesty and Apple logo on the left.
Okay, wait, do you mind if I put this in the video? This is really cool.
Yeah.
Hey guys, sorry to interrupt. He just found a record of Abbey Road that I've been looking at the thrift store. Guess what song it doesn't have?
Her Majesty.
Which means that this...
It's original 1969.
Okay, this is I got for 15 bucks. Sorry to interrupt the video, but I feel like all my Beatles fans out there, and the Apple is printed a bit to the side and everything. All my Beatles fans will appreciate that. Keep that safe. That is a beautiful find. Let's talk character interactions. So just like that little wholesome moment I had with my younger brother, there's tons of great character interactions. I'm trying to segue that into the video because there's no way I'm removing a find like that from this recording process. I'm immortalizing that moment. More like you're immortalizing that stupid piece of hair in the middle of your forehead that happens every single video and only when recording videos. Why does it happen? Please, guys, tell me in the comments. Have you noticed that in every other video, that stupid piece of hair in the middle? I don't want to bring attention to it if you didn't notice, but there's no way you didn't. The character dynamics and interactions are fantastic. I feel like a Kit being like a surrogate mother character to our little purple dinosaur here, if I see any ship art of them, and if they get shipped in the show, I may just cry, is actually pretty fantastic. I think Goobs, it starts with a G, I know that much, is voiced by the original person who did him in the original Gameoverse show. Wait a minute. Have we talked about the original Gameoverse show?
Stop trying to do cute scene transitions. They don't work. Just shut up and say the things.
So the original Gameoverse show I addressed previously on the channel when this was all first announced. And the original Gameoverse show is fantastic. It's a lot different. It's definitely much more early in the internet. And I think it was paid for by Playboy to get animated shows on their website. So I guess really the show has gone full circle. I'm a terrible person. And the original was definitely a web series, right? A very early web series where it was just kind of having fun. The bit was like, it's Lernosaurus, but he curses. And of course, this version of Lernosaurus doesn't curse because all the other characters do, which I think is a better character dynamic. Because of course, Grumpy side character is replaced by Schlatt. So for those who somehow don't know or didn't recognize... So for those of you who somehow didn't know or didn't recognize, Caboodle is actually voiced by the one, the only, Mr. J. Schlatt. It's J. Schlatt, which is what I mentioned before. The voice acting he does is incredible. It is basically just his voice yelling, but I mean, it's J. Schlatt. He's already got the perfect voice for this character. Like when he was teaching the villain character how to be a good villain, perfectly in character. Like, couldn't you just imagine J. Schlatt going up to, like, an actual real-world, like, super villain and just going, listen to me, you gotta make the big bucks, okay? I got 300 Chinese finger traps. I got 300 Chinese finger traps, and you're gonna put one on the head of every kitten in the world and suffocate all of them. You got 200, maybe 300 calories each. It's free! It's free! I'm sorry. My J. Schlatt impression is awful. And that was a lot of crammed in references for people who don't know him. But yeah, he does the grumpy character great, and obviously by default he's my favorite character because I love Jay Schlatt so much. Schlatt is awesome. And then of course the main character, Kit, who is voiced by the voice actor for Luna from Hell of a Boss. I'm not going to address that. But she does a fantastic job in this. It was kind of interesting because you see Kit's character design, you think, okay, you think she'd have a more bubbly voice, like a little higher, a little more gung-ho, a little more fun. But it makes sense for her to be down to earth because she's like the middleman of the cast, the straight man of the group. I'm talking about character archetypes. Why is every single character archetype have to have other connotations? But I think her down-to-earth personality works a lot better here than I would have expected because, you know, she had her whole world destroyed. Which does kind of bring me to the one thing that I was a little concerned about. Really, my only criticism would be the moments when she has her flashbacks. Like right at the end there when Flappers is like, was it my fault? And then we do like a Kill Bill zoom in and like the screen turns like narrow and it's like, oh no, the memories. Don't do that. Just as an advice to any showrunner, don't do that. It doesn't work. You see, subtext is the most important thing when you're trying to tell a serious story. When you're trying to make a moment actually be serious, you don't want to try... Well, you do want to try hard, but you don't want to make it look like you tried hard. What you want to do is you want to put in just enough that people understand what's happening, but not enough that they know everything. People have to fill in the blanks themselves, because it gets their brain thinking about the struggles the character's gone through, which gets them to connect with it, which gets them to understand it, and, I mean, subconsciously, it makes them feel smart for realizing what the character's feeling. And when people feel that, then they're forced to connect with the character, because people like feeling smart for figuring out a character. I don't know how much of this is making sense. My point is, I love all of her character choices, and I love the direction you're taking her in. Just a little bit more subtext would be nice. Because I hate to say it, if you as a writing team genuinely, unironically put in the line, I can't lose him too, time for some reflection. And keep in mind, I don't think this ruins the pilot. I think it's fine. I'm just saying, I really hope that they don't steer too far into this direction, because, I mean, we all know what happens when a show based entirely on comedy, with a few fun little character drama moments, tries to lean solely into the character drama moments, and then completely loses the comedy and its entire fan base, and instead just becomes like a novella drama. We all know what happens. But I do think Glitch is smarter than that. Things like The Amazing Digital Circus kept its humor all the way through, and I think Gameoverse has a much stronger identity to its comedy, and to its whole show, to be honest. So I really hope that that carries on all the way through, the way that all the other shows have in their own ways. But what if they liked and subscribed? They should like and subscribe and smash that notification bell. Smash that notification bell like you were smashing one of the... Whoa! Okay, this is why we don't let Schlatt talk anymore. But he does have some good advice. Hit that subscribe button.